Welcome to the deep dive. You know, we spend so much time trying to upgrade our phones, our computers, our cars, but what about the actual machine we live in, the human body?
Right.
Today, we are cracking open what's basically become the operating manual for that machine, Andrew Huberman's book, Protocols, an operating manual for the human body.
And that's exactly the right way to frame it. Our mission here is to, analyze this blueprint and pull out the most powerful science-backed nuggets for you.
Yeah.
This isn't just theoretical advice. It's a really detailed guide with specific habits, specific practices, the protocols, all designed to optimize how you function.
I think the reason it's gotten so much buzz, though, is the source. This isn't just another self-help guru.
Precisely. Huberman is a Stanford neuroscientist. That scientific rigor is the absolute foundation of everything in the book.
Right.
So every protocol is grounded in, over 30 years of research. So you don't just learn what to do, you actually get why it works.
Yeah. Okay, so let's unpack that. The book's biggest strength seems to be this system-level view. It treats the body like a whole network.
It does.
It doesn't just focus on, say, sleep in one chapter and motivation in another.
Yeah.
It's all connected. So what are the big pillars that structure this whole thing?
It's brilliantly structured that way because it gets that everything is connected. If your sleep is off, your motivation is going to be off. If your stress is through the roof, your physical performance suffers.
Of course.
The first pillar is really the foundation. It's brain function and neuroplasticity.
Okay.
This is all about actively rewiring your own neural circuits to learn better, to focus, to adapt. Neuroplasticity is just the brain's ability to change itself based on experience.
So you're not just stuck with the brain you have, you're actually improving its capability.
Exactly. Then the second pillar is mood, motivation, and stress management. And what's so fascinating here is the focus on using physiological tools.
What do you mean by that?
Like your breath, your posture, even your body temperature, to manage stress and boost motivation. It totally flips the script from, think your way out of anxiety to act your way out of it.
That feels much more direct. And that flows right into the third pillar, which is energy and sleep.
Yep. And we all know sleep is critical, but he gets really specific. He dives deep into sleep hygiene, especially environmental stuff, light exposure, timing your meals, temperature. But the really unique thing here is the whole discussion around non-sleep deep rest, NSDR.
NSDR, I've heard him talk about this a lot.
It's basically a set of protocols for structured rest states that are incredibly restorative. They can help you recover and focus, but without you having to actually fall asleep.
That's a huge insight for anyone with a busy schedule.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The fourth area is physical health and performance. So this covers exercise protocols, building metabolic resilience, how your body manages energy. But, and this is important, it's not a diet book.
Right, it's more about the mechanics.
Exactly. It's about the physiological changes from movement and timing.
And the last two pillars feel like they're more about how you actually do all this stuff, how you make it stick.
That's it. Number 5 is long-term behavior change. He really insists the protocols are not one size fits all.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. So this section gives you the meta tools. How to set goals, form habits, and really customize all this to your own life and your own biology.
So it's more like customizable software, not just hardware.
That's a great analogy. And the sixth pillar is just the scientific foundation. That's the glue holding it all together.
Yeah.
Every single action he suggests comes with the neuroscience behind it, which it just gives it so much credibility.
Okay, that structure makes a ton of sense. It feels less like a list of rules and more like an experiment you can run on yourself.
Yeah.
So let's shift gears. For anyone listening who's ready to do something today, what are the most crucial, actionable protocols they can take away?
Okay, we have to start with the most important lesson, which is to leverage physiology to transform psychology. This is the core theme.
So give me an example.
When you're feeling really stressed or anxious, instead of trying to rationalize your way out of it, you use a physical tool, like the physiological sigh.
Wait, okay, tell us exactly what that is. That sounds like a perfect actionable nugget.
It's a breathwork tool. It's a rapid double inhale through the nose.
So one after the other.
Yep, a quick one, then another one right after.
Yeah.
And then a long, extended exhale through your mouth. That long exhale rapidly lowers your heart rate, and it shifts your nervous system out of fight or flight and back into a rest and digest state.
Wow. So it's a biological override for anxiety.
It's a direct override. You're using your body to bypass the overthinking mind. It's so powerful.
Okay, that is incredible. What's next? What's another key practice?
Light exposure matters. This one sounds so simple, but it is hugely important. Get natural daylight, ideally within 30 to 60 minutes of waking up.
Why so early?
That bright light hits special cells in your eye that signal your master clock in your brain,
Right.
your suprachiasmatic nucleus.
Right. And that sets your whole internal rhythm for the day.
The entire circadian rhythm. You're essentially telling your body, okay, the day has started. It shuts down melatonin, which wakes you up, and it sets the timer for when you'll get sleepy later.
It's a timing mechanism. If you skip it, the whole system lags.
Precisely. The clock starts late.
You mentioned NSDR earlier. What makes it so important that it gets its own spot on this actionable list?
Right, so that's lesson 3. Use structured rest. NSDR is key because we all deal with constant cognitive load. We're always on.
For sure.
NSDR protocols, like certain guided meditations or hypnosis scripts, let you intentionally shift into that restorative state. It's not just lying down. You're deliberately maximizing recovery, letting your brain recharge without the time commitment of a full nap.
Super useful. Now, what about stress? The book doesn't say to avoid it, right?
Not at all. That's lesson 4. Harness stress. The manual reframes it. It's not just something to survive.
Right.
It gives you protocols for adding controlled, short bursts of stress like cold showers or high-intensity interval training, and then following that with recovery. That cycle of stress plus recovery is how we adapt and grow.
So you're building resilience instead of just burning out.
Exactly.
Huh.
And that connects right back to the first pillar we talked about, neuroplasticity.
Okay. How?
Well, that's lesson 5. Neural flexibility. The way you rewire your brain, the way you learn a new skill, is by combining intense focus during the effort with really effective recovery right after.
So it's not just about the work.
No, the brain needs that high effort to create the potential for change, but the actual rewiring, the real learning, that happens during rest,
Yeah.
especially during deep sleep.
So you learn hard, then you rest hard.
You got it. And the final lesson, which might be the most important one for you listening, is customization is mandatory.
Right.
The whole point is to build routines that are sustainable for you. If you can only get 10 minutes of morning light, that is so much better than 0. Start there.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting for me. We have all this great info, but how does the manual actually hold up? What are the critiques, the realities of trying to do all this?
It's a great question. And overall, the reception is very strong, especially for people who want the scientific detail. There are 3 big strengths everyone agrees on.
What are they?
First, the credibility. You can trust the science. Second, it's incredibly actionable. It's not vague advice. And third, it's very accessible. He does a great job of explaining complex neuroscience without making it feel like a textbook.
But I'm looking at the page cut, 384 pages, or like an 11-hour audiobook. That sounds overwhelming.
That is the central critique, the implementation load. If you try to do everything at once, the light timing, the breath work, the exercise, the cold showers, NSDR, it basically becomes a second job. And reviewers definitely note that this flood of information can be, well, paralyzing.
That makes perfect sense. So what does the book suggest to deal with that paralysis?
It really forces you to learn triage. You have to pick the one protocol that addresses your single biggest issue, whether that's sleep or anxiety, and you just master that one first.
And then build from there.
Exactly. There's also a noted risk of, let's say, hype or overgeneralization. The science is real, but you have to resist treating these protocols like magic bullets that work the same for everyone.
And what about for people who are already big fans of his podcast? Is it just rehashed material?
There's definitely an overlap risk. If you've been listening to the Huberman Lab podcast for years, a lot of the core ideas will sound familiar.
So what's the value then?
The value shifts from novelty to structure. The book organizes years of amazing but kind of decentralized information into a single comprehensive reference manual. It's the syllabus for everything you've heard.
So the verdict is, protocols is extremely valuable if you're looking for science-backed, actionable tools. But you, the user, have to be the chief engineer. You have to implement and customize it carefully.
Precisely. Which brings us back to that really important meta insight. Behavior change requires awareness plus structure.
Say more about that.
Well, knowing that a protocol is good for you is only half the battle. That's the awareness part. But to make it actually stick, you need to build the structure, the cues, the environment, the routine around it.
That is the perfect note to end on. So for you listening, if you already have the awareness of one optimal behavior, let's say it's getting that morning light, what's one simple piece of structure you could add today to make that a consistent habit?
It could be anything. Move your alarm clock across the room so you have to walk past the window to turn it off. Put your walking shoes right by the door before you go to bed. That knowledge is just the starting line. The real power is in the structured, sustainable application of these tools. That's how you really start to operate your own system better.